Hey there, Mountaineer fans, and welcome into another installment of Talking About Preseason. There's lots of snow out here in Southern Vermont, but baseball season is just 1 week away, and we are sitting with second-year head coach Dave Gage right now. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Talk about your preseason. How are things going so far? Like I said, you have 1 week until your first game. Are you guys ready, or are you going to be ready in 1 week's time?
I think we are. You know, our assistant coaches and myself challenged our guys to be ready game or practice number one. So that way our 4 weeks of spring training, so you will, was sort of getting better and not getting to the shape that we needed to. I know our goal is to be game ready by Monday. We sort of broke it down that we had 4 weeks of spring training, and the next week is preparation for week number one. So really our season starts Saturday at the end of our practice, in our opinion. You know, so we got 2 days left here in preseason or in spring training, and then, you know, I think our guys are doing a great job. I think they did come in shape, and they're doing a good job at getting ready and making sure they're game ready for game number one.
Now, as I mentioned, this is your second year at the helm of the team. How does having that 1 year of head coaching experience under your belt give you a better sense of what you need to do during preseason in order to get your team ready for that first game?
Yeah, I think there's so much that I've been able to grow up as a person, as a coach. I think our staff has been able to grow up, our players have been able to grow up. You know, last year, nobody ever wants to go 11-24, but I made the comment that I believe it was really, really good for the future of this program. If we were able to look at things of what can we do better, you know, I believe if we went out and stayed on that pace of where we were around 500, you know, I think a lot of guys might have said, oh, we're just a year older and we return everyone. Whereas now we're able to look at it and be like, we have a lot of work to do, and I think our guys did that in, you know, over the summer and in the fall, and just came back to school in better shape. And then they did the work that they needed to, and have just done what they needed to be good college baseball players. So for me, it's been great. I've been able to develop more of a, you know, relationship with other coaches. I've talked with some really high-level coaches, Division I coaches, just about preseason and things like that, and what we can do. I don't believe our preseason was bad last year. You know, we started off, we won our opening game, we were ready. So I don't think we needed to change too much in our preseason. I think we just need to be more crisp and you know, make sure that we're stronger and in better shape, so that way the entire year goes well instead of just the first 20 games like it did last year.
Now, is there one key thing that you and your coaching staff were able to take away from last year that you're using in order to better prepare this year?
Yeah, we needed to be stronger, we needed to be faster. You know, and I really credit the Daniel Webster staff and the Mitchell staff in the conference of just bringing the level of NECC play up last year. And it was really because their players were just bigger and stronger and faster, and their guys hit the weight room and they did what they needed to do. And you know, they've recruited to bring in high-level players, and that puts us at a point where we need to do that. So, you know, I think at the end of last year we sort of looked at it and we said we lost 9 one-run games, or, you know, 11 games within the last 2 innings of a ball game, and that really came down to a few different things. Number one, us not being tight enough as a unit. So that's been a major key for us. You know, you just look at the Red Sox, and as a Yankees fan, I hate saying it, but you know, I'm a firm believer they weren't the most talented team. They were very good, but they were the tightest, which helped them win the World Series. So that we've sort of installed that in our program. And then just the other thing of the strength and conditioning stuff. You know, we've hired a strength and conditioning coach, and we're really hoping that we can be stronger and faster, and it'll help throughout our entire season this year.
Now, the New England Collegiate Conference preseason coaches poll came out earlier in the week. Coaches around the league pegged you guys to finish 5th out of the 7 teams. Are you and your coaching staff giving any credence to that preseason poll? Are you using it as motivation, or do you simply ignore it and just say, forget about it, let's do what we need to do?
You know, it's tough because I think our guys, it's big to them. You know, it's big to fans, it's big to young players. As coaches, it doesn't mean anything to us. We prepare the same way. I'm sure everyone prepares for us the same way. Yeah, we're 5th, but we're still 0-0, and so is Mitchell, who was picked to win it. You know, so we don't get any tiebreaker points at the end of the year for being voted 5th. We went 11-24 last year. We were 5-13 in the conference. We're lucky to be 5th and not 6th or 7th. You know, from a fan standpoint. But we do have a lot of work to do. I think it can be a little bit of motivation. We don't necessarily use it that way. One of the things that we looked at was Linfield won the national championship last year. They were voted third in their preseason poll. So it isn't necessarily anything to gut up all in arms about, but it is something that we need to say. We need to earn a little bit of respect. And hey, last year we were 6th in the conference. So we do have work to do. There's no doubt about that.
Now this year's schedule is a little bit different compared to that of the last 7 or 8 years, where usually you begin the season with your trip down to Florida. This year you have 5 games before you go to Florida, and once you get down to Fort Myers, you open up right away with an NECC series against Mitchell, 3 games there. How much different is that in the mindset of the coaching staff as you get on the diamond before you get to Florida, but once you get to Florida, it's conference play and it's go time?
Yeah, I think that goes back to the point of we needed to be game ready practice number 1. We couldn't take 5 weeks to get ready. We had to play these next two weekends because to open your season with a team that's voted to win your conference is pretty tough, and especially they're going to be playing that whole week before down in Florida. It's actually the end of their spring break, so they're going to be already be in game mode. So we had to find a schedule. The other thing is, and going forward, we're looking to do this, is we need to get out of our gym sooner. We're baseball players. Being cooped up in a gym is really tough, and we're in Northeast baseball. Everybody deals with it, but if we can find a weekend to get out, it makes that preseason a little bit smoother, and it does challenge our guys to, like I said, come into preseason in better shape because they know they don't have 6 or 7 weeks; they have 4. So it's going to be different. We don't know how it's going to work out. We've never done it before, but it is something that we're looking to do from not only this year but well beyond this year. And we hope that these 5 games to start our season prepares us for Mitchell and prepares us for that Florida trip.
Now I'm going to kind of circle back to my original question. Again, 1 week left. Where do you see this team right now, and how do you feel about this group, and what are your expectations of them throughout the season?
Yeah, it's year 2. I think anytime when you take over a program, you have a vision, you have a plan. Mine, we laid out a long-term plan, and year 1 was change the culture. I believe we did that. It was just making guys more committed, recruiting baseball-specific guys and guys that had a vision that shared with the coaching staff of I've been very open with it, and that our goal is to win a national championship. We know we're a 550 student school, and we know that we don't have the greatest facilities, but that doesn't change our goal of winning a national championship. We knew we were going to do it overnight, so this is year 2. Our goal, we need to get back to the playoffs. I think, there's no doubt about that. I don't like looking at wins and losses and trying to put, success out there. But we need to be back in the playoffs. You can't win a national championship if you don't win conference playoffs. So we got to do that. This team, my overall feeling is they're tighter. I love my captains. I really, really love this team. And just believe in these guys that they're going to show up to practice every day and take games every day ready to go. And I made a comment to a coaching friend of mine, and I said, we may win 40 games this year, we may lose 40 games this year, but in all honesty, I wouldn't rather do it with a better group. Just because I think this group is going to have a lot of fun. They're 100% committed to what we as a coaching staff have asked of them, and that is fun to come to work every day knowing that you have guys 100% bought in and not bought into themselves, bought into the team, and bought into their teammates. One of the quotes we go by is, "Do something for your teammate today. Do something play for somebody else today." And I think these guys are really, really bought into that. So I'm excited. And just like every other coach to start the year, but it's going to be a fun year. And like I said, we may win 40, we may lose 40, but this group's going to be a ride, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us today. Sit tight as we will be joined by 4 members of the Mountaineers team in just a second here. Good luck, and we hope to see great things out of you guys.
All right, thank you.
Welcome back to Talking About Preseason. As I mentioned, we are now joined by 4 members of the SVC baseball team. From left to right, we have sophomore RJ Pinjator, junior captain Chris Nicastro Jr., junior captain Sal Chiara, and junior Cody Labadia. Sal, let's start with you. How do you think the preseason has gone so far?
Well, I think it's gone very well. We've worked a lot harder than we have in previous years. We've improved on many things, such as pretty much all around in our game, pitching, hitting, defense, anything you think of. So I think we've accomplished what we want to.
Chris, how well do you think the team handled the workouts and training that you've done so far?
We're handling really well. Every workout we like to have good energy and everyone focused. And every workout we want to be better than the last workout. So that's really what we're shooting for.
RJ, how much different is this year's preseason to that of last year that you're now a sophomore and you have that 1 year under your belt?
Well, the difference between this year and last year is just drastic. One being because I know what to expect being a sophomore. You can kind of know what the whole preseason is about. But other than that, we've worked a lot harder as a whole than we have in the past.
Cody, you're now in your 3rd year on the team. What's the biggest difference you've seen so far out of this group compared to those of the last 2 years?
There's actually a couple things. Hard work, like RJ touched on. Every practice we're going 100%, like no one's taking it easy. And also team chemistry. We all can trust each other. We can go to each other if you need help, whatever.
Sal, who on this team has raised the most eyebrows amongst the guys on the team?
I would have to say Rich Rios. He came in this semester and really didn't know what we were getting into with him, but he's performed very well and we've all noticed that he's a good baseball player and we're happy to have him.
Chris, what would you say is the top aspect of the game that this team still needs to improve upon?
I think just getting more consistent. Sometimes if one thing goes wrong, we need to be able to overcome that. So and once we do overcome that, just stay consistent and do well.
RJ, what is the one aspect of this team that you think will account for success in the win-loss column during the season?
Well, it's going to be team chemistry. Last year we lost a number of games by 1 or 2 runs late in the game, and that was because of poor team chemistry. This year we are the closest team that I've ever been a part of, and my teammates can account for that also, so that'll help us.
Cody, what are the overall feelings about this team from the guys when you're just hanging out? What do you guys say to each other, and again, what are the overall thoughts?
Well, at first getting to know the new guys was kind of like awkward, but now it's like you can go to each other, joke. It's just joking around. We joke around with each other a lot. We say can't wait for like the season type things.
Sal, what are you most looking forward to this season?
Well, I'm really looking forward to doing something I haven't been able to do in my past 2 years, is celebrating with my team after we accomplish that goal that we all have as a team, and that's making it to the conference championship, and therefore we're enjoying that.
Chris, what's the biggest improvement you've noticed so far from this year's group compared to last?
Well, like RJ said earlier, team chemistry for sure. Last year, I know we lacked that a little bit, but this year I think everyone's close. Like we really consider ourselves a family, and it's definitely the closest team I've been a part of.
RJ, to all the Mountaineer fans that are watching this, what can you say to them? What can their expectations of your group be?
I mean, if they come to a game, they're gonna see a team that's going to compete day in and day out, and you're gonna see a team that's close. You're gonna see a team that's having fun, and in retrospect, that'll lead to victories.
Cody, when during the season do you think the team is going to be 100% to where it wants to be?
Our goal as a team is to be 100% by the first game, and I think we're almost there actually.
Very good. Again, the first games are next weekend for the Mountaineers with a 3-game series at Penn State Greater Allegheny, and then they have another doubleheader Sunday, March 9th at SUNY Maritime before heading down to Fort Myers March 14th through the 21st. They will take on Mitchell College in the NECC opener down there in their first series in Florida on March 14th and 15th, and then they return for the home opener with Norwich University, hopefully on March 25th. That's a Tuesday at 3 p.m., given that all the snow melts. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us today, and good luck with your season.
Thank you.